Hello, everybody. Recording live from the CakeDrain Studios Springfield branch. I'm Cain Martin.
I'm Drake Bardwell.
And together we are
CakeDrain.
CakeDrain. Welcome back to our fun little fandom-driven show, Pitch It To Me. This is the podcast show where one person comes on the podcast with an idea, whether it be for a movie, a show, or whatever set in their favorite fandom. They pitch it to the listener listens, asks questions, and then we talk about it afterwards. So Drake's got an awesome pitch. I did my pitch last time. It was about Star Wars. This one is going to be appropriate to the upcoming Halloween season, but I don't want to bury the lead here and let Drake... What is your pitch, man? Are you excited?
I'm very excited. This is a one of the more well-known series in the horror genre, perfect for the Halloween season. And this is a new Friday the 13th movie that I think would be the ultimate Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, snap.
This is Friday the 13th, Part 13. So since we're up to that point now. And this is basically the big team-up movie, if you will. Because
I like it.
The concept is there's a crew that's doing a documentary about Camp Crystal Lake and the legend of Jason Voorhees. Because, as you know, he's been terrorizing it for 30 plus years now.
Right.
So, of course, people are going to get interested. And the big thing is to do documentaries on urban legends.
Oh, yeah.
So, they decide to not only go to Camp Crystal Lake, but they're bringing back people who have been to Crystal Lake and returned and are telling their stories.
I like where it's going. Legacy of Camp Crystal Lake.
Mm-hmm. And Jason happens to return for a showdown with these survivors. So, playing Mr. Voorhees is the one and only Kane Hodder would be our Jason because he is the ultimate Jason, in my opinion.
He's played Jason the most.
He has.
Right?
He's kind of the quintessential Jason. I think he portrayed him the best so far, besides the newest one.
Derek Mears.
Derek Mears did a great job, but Kane Hodder, to me, is Jason through and through, and he's very close to that character. He holds it very near and dear to his heart.
Right.
Now, our survivors are pretty much... This is a fan service movie, basically. These are some fan favorites that are being brought back in. We're having Jenny from Part 2, Miss Amy Steele, coming back. Laura Park Lincoln is playing Tina. She's returning from Part 7. She was the girl with the telekinetic abilities.
That's one of my favorite.
It was
not to stop you there, but yeah, Part 7 is an underrated Friday the 13th movie in my opinion.
One of the few underrated ones. I think so.
I think it's really ambitious and really different. I like that idea of trying to bring in these... It's almost like superhero status. You got the psychic girl trying to fight this undead, unstoppable killer.
It's kind of the ultimate, power versus power.
I liked it a lot.
I love that a lot. And also... bringing back Part 5, which is one of the lesser favorable ones, but this character to me stood out and would be cool to bring back. We're bringing back Reggie the Reckless, who's coming back in. Shavar Ross, who played him, would be coming back for that possibly. And from Part 4, we're bringing back Tommy from Part 4. I forget his last name, but played by Corey Feldman. Bringing him back again.
Yep.
So basically the concept is everybody comes to the camp. They're trying to... asking them questions on, what happened while you were there? What was, they kind of have their uncertainties about it, as all these urban legend documentary guys do.
Right, yeah.
And then...
Talking to the victims, to the people that went through it.
Who've been there, the survivors. And then once they get there, they find out, Jason's real, and now all these survivors are... gonna go against him, whether all together or I haven't done a whole lot of, whether order or whatever sort of thing, but I think this idea would be really cool to flesh out and have kind of a full-fledged return of the strongest fighters against Jason to have a bit of a rematch.
I like that. That's cool. Taking the survivors who a lot of times I feel like in these horror movies, they survive one movie, but then they die in the next one. Sometimes that happens a lot.
That happened with the first one.
Yeah, the first survivor girl of Friday the 13th.
Because I thought about including her, but I'm like, well, she kind of got killed off in part 2.
She did.
She did.
But no, yeah, I really like that. I like that idea. One quick question: Do you see this part 13 as this is the final chapter, or do you see this as a springboard, a jumping off point into like, well, okay, here's the legacy, here's little bits and references of all the best parts of Friday the 13th, and we're going to embrace that, but then we're going to move forward. So which of those two do you kind of see this story?
I would see this more as a springboard, because I think it would be a cool pseudo passing of the baton to maybe another actor. Like, for example, I don't want to throw myself in the mix, but I would love to be part of this movie some way, somehow.
Oh, hey, this is fan fiction. You could be.
I may be the guy
I
may be the one who's either doing the documentary or some guy on crew, kind of like in our documentary movie, that kind of makes it out and becomes the new survivor or something of that nature. So I think that'd be a good spring off point for this is paying homage to everything that's come before, and I think it'd be a good stepping point for the next kind of flow, and even have some of the newer actors from the last movie maybe come back as well, possibly. Who knows? But like I said, this is kind of this is the movie that fans would want, and we want to kind of give fuel to that. And also, I went to a Cain Hodder Q&A, and somebody asked him if he was able to do another Friday the 13th, would he do it? And he said he would. He would love to see, like, this is part 13, so, he's like, isn't Corey Feldman still alive and running around? Maybe take him out or do something with him. I thought that would be I wanted to tie that in there to be like, this is what he said he wanted to do, so I want to bring this in as a, like, if Jason wants it, Jason gets it. So
right, yeah.
I would love to kick that off.
That's awesome, yeah, and with the possible resurgence, I mean, we're going to get into this in another podcast, but with the possible resurgence that the new Halloween movie's creating, I think it creates this opportunity for us to revisit these classical franchises in a new way, instead of just going straight remake, instead of just going straight reboot. We kind of go and tap into what is the core of these franchises, these horror franchises, that makes them great. Because that's what gets lost along the way, right?
For sure.
It starts out great, and then it's kind of a downhill thing. It's usually the trend. Not always. Sometimes it's up and down.
Yeah.
I think with Friday the 13th, it's definitely up and down.
For sure.
But you embrace all that history, all the good parts, and then you say, okay, let's focus in on this. Let's bring the attention to our new viewers out there, get them interested in this old thing, and then go forward with that. So
right. And I think this would be a good way to kind of, also for newer fans who have only seen the remake or have only seen, maybe not gotten into the Friday the 13th series, this could also be a good, education of, here's the history of Friday the 13th, of Jason.
Right.
And
get
then,
people to go back and watch the old ones.
Yeah. Maybe even have, like, if they, have a little bit of clips of when they were there, kind of flashback memories in the documentary as well, or in their, like, while they're telling their stories, just a bit of, like, flashes of that kind of thing. I think that'd be a cool way to look at that as well, even though not all of them took place in Crystal Lake, quote unquote. Like, I think part 5 wasn't necessarily in Crystal Lake, but Jason was involved in that movie in a way, so I think that would be a good little connection for the old and the new.
I like it. Do you have any kind of cool Easter egg cameo type things in mind, or is that?
I would.
I mean, it's chock full of people that are from.
It's full of
past movies, so
right,
I mean,
for sure.
Like Easter eggs in your face. But I mean, any other Friday the 13th little sneaky things you want to slip in there?
Little tidbits, maybe references to either past, maybe past kills or past like events that happened, like. Even a wheelchair with a machete laying on it, or from that, if you know that scene, or
maybe
even
a
random corkscrew stuck in the kitchen somewhere,
or a couple of my favorites. They're from newer ones, but beating somebody against a tree while they're in the sleeping bag,
hanging on a tree,
the folding bed from
Freddy vs. Jason,
stuff like that.
Or
referential kills,
or the tent with a big slash in it is usually one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Or even, this one people may get or may not, but see the puddle with the American Express card still floating in it? If you remember that
from
little tidbit
right?
from part 8.
Yeah.
I think part 6, I think.
Oh, is it part 6?
Yeah, it's part 6, because part 8 was in Manhattan.
Oh, right, part 6 was
Jason Lives.
That's
yeah.
right, the funny one.
That was one where it was kind of like we took a
Brought back
nudge
to life with a lightning
brought back to actual Jason and not the, like, who's Jason? It's, we're bringing legit Jason back into it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I'm really digging this whole idea. I think it's something that works. I think it's part of a new trend that is a good trend in bringing back these horror franchises, which is not just relying completely on nostalgia, not relying just on names to market these movies, because I feel like that's a mistake that remakes can get into. It's like, oh, you're going to go watch it because of the name, even though the movie may be kind of...
Yeah.
But this is like, hey, we're going to go back to the roots, we're going to embrace the legacy, and we're going to try to do old things and new things together going forward. I think...
For sure.
I think that's important in continuing a lot of older franchises, whether they be horror or otherwise.
I just kind of thought of another little in-jokey portion of it. I think it'd be interesting for Reggie, who was with the other Tommy in part 5. I think it'd be interesting if he kind of notices Corey Feldman's Tommy and like, you look a little different for some reason. I can't place it, but you look a little different. Because I like those little nudges to like, we know we replaced the actor, and I know everybody else notices, but we're gonna give you a little hee-hee to it.
Right.
They did that in like Roseanne. They did that in a few other ones. It's like, where the heck have you been? Or what, one of those like, you look different somehow, but I can't, because we've noticed whenever they replace actors and nobody bats an eye.
Right. Yeah, like Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, or even speaking of horror, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think part 5 they replaced the main girl in that movie, and that was kind of a like shock, but they were still the same character, but they were acting as if they had known each other forever, but you knew she was different. It was a weird atmosphere to it.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is a cool pitch. If I was a producer, I'd produce it. Come on, New Line,
Paramount,
what are y'all doing here? We got great ideas. Forget remakes, forget radical reimaginings and reboots. Let's go back to the origins and the heart of what makes Friday the 13th a fun, crazy ride, and bring part 13. Why is there not part 13?
That's the ultimate.
The movie
number.
makes itself. It markets itself to people.
The 13th, Friday the 13th. Come on, y'all.
Well, are there any other little tidbits you want to give me or the people, or what, what you see coming out of this? Or
well, what I would want to see out of this is kind of a, like you said, kind of a rebirthing of this franchise in a way, going back to the roots, but also possibly, I don't know if he still directs. I know I would want him writing / producing. I would love to see Sean Cunningham coming back into the mix some way, somehow, since this was kind of his starting with the franchise and things like that.
Yeah.
And maybe even have some of the past Jasons maybe play a officer, or have someone, because we've had the guys who've been in these movies in other horror films, and like Kane Hodder's played in other horror movies as reference.
Right.
But I think it'd be interesting to see some of the other Jasons be interrogated as like police officers or people who live around the camp. Yeah. And have that kind of like, Jason Voorhees? No, I don't think he exists. I think that's a myth, blah, blah, blah. Or like, he seemed bigger last time I saw him. Things like that. Nudges.
Yeah. Or even like Derek Mears playing the token creepy dude who's like, don't go out in the woods, you're gonna die.
Crazy Ralph. Kind of the second generation of Crazy Ralph.
Yeah.
Going to Camp Blood, ain't ya?
Well, see you never, because you're gonna be dead.
You're gonna die.
Well, heck yeah, man! That's an awesome pitch. I think it is definitely appropriate. I don't have any concerns or anything, because I like it. It's a different take. Whenever it's easy to just remake and make something totally, new and different can be great. But at the same time, I think, like I said before, whenever it comes to these old franchises that you want to continue, whether they be whatever, Jurassic Park or Friday the 13th or Star Wars or whatever. You got to embrace all of it. You got to combine. It's a perfect balance of old and new.
Yes.
If you go too new, you lose your audience. If you go too old, everybody just rolls their eyes. Oh, same crap, different day. And I think something like this could definitely bring all the good new stuff and good old stuff into a perfect package, and we could see something really special. So let us know if you guys want this movie.
Yes.
Let Paramount and New Line or whoever owns the rights to Friday the 13th right now,
Whoever it is, send them our way. Tell them CakeDrain has the perfect idea for a movie, and we need to get this off the ground like yesterday. Let's do it.
Heck yeah. So hit us up in the comments with your thoughts on Friday the 13th, Part 13.
The 13th Friday.
And look forward to more awesome pitches like this coming up in the future. Also, look out for tons of Halloween season content that we're going to be putting out. Tell us some other things maybe you got going on.
In the very near future, we will also have my new podcast that's coming out called the Slash and Scream Podcast. We'll be talking about all things horror related over there because that is my cup of tea, if you will, my own specialty that I love to focus on. And also over on the CakeDrain YouTube channel, I'll be doing a show called The Brain of CakeDrain, talking about all the creativity type things and also working out towards the Halloween season, how to get creepy with a budget. So I think that'll help out quite a bit. And you can look us up on Twitter. Pardon me, my brain is not working right now. On Twitter at CakeDrain, or you can follow Cain at CainJM17. He is there online most of the time.
Yep, I'm Twitterverse guy.
Twitterverse. And also you can follow us on Facebook at CakeDrain Productions. All over the web. You search CakeDrain Productions. You'll find us everywhere and anywhere.
Yep. YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Send us your thoughts, your comments, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of. We definitely want to get some more interaction moving forward with some of the stuff we want to do. Like Drake said, lots of cool Halloween-themed stuff. The Brain and CakeDrain is a really important show, I think, that's coming up because it's going into creative process. In a less a less technical way and more of like our CakeDrain style of creative process, how we come up with ideas and try to execute those ideas in a realistic and fun way and not get too stressed out and caught up on the,
all the technicalities.
Technicality, rigid details and stuff like that. But
faux show.
Yeah, we got lots of fun things planned. I'm going to be doing some kind of Halloween themed stuff. Not as in the up and up with horror as Drake is, just because I have a small child. But I'm going to compensate by bringing some cool monster lists and things to you here on the podcast. And that's I guess that's enough of us rambling on. Thanks for tuning in to this second episode of Pitch It To Me. Look forward to the next one and more stuff here on the CakeDrain Podcast Network feed and the video feed on YouTube.
Peace out.
And remember, Bruce!